In today's video, I'll be talking about what you need to invest in as a footballer. So I'll be talking about accessories you need for your team training, individual training, and your match training. I'll be separating each sort of accessory into 3 tiers. So we got your essentials first, then we got your non-essentials but are nice to have, and then at the bottom we got your waste of money. So obviously, first of all, as a footballer, we all know what the most essential item is as a footballer, and it's obviously your football boots. Now these are currently the 2 I have. Now, me personally, I don't like to go too crazy when it comes to spending money on football boots. Like for example, these black ones right here, these are like the Nike Mercurials, but like they're the academy version. So if you wear Nike boots, you sort of know how Nike do it. Nike do it. So the cheapest ones are like the academy versions. Then you got like the pro versions. Then you got like the elite version. Now me personally, I just like to go for the academy versions. Like for me personally, I'm not too fussed about boots. For me, it's not really about the price, it's about how they fit your foot, you understand? Now these 2 boots, the Mercurials and also the X's, they're more made for people with a slimmer foot, you understand? But for me, I have a wide foot, but I can still sort of fit into these and they feel nice on me, you understand? I sort of like the way it's tight, it's snug, it just sort of feels like, everything's just tight. My touch is tight and it's into me. My dribbling is close, it's controlled. My shooting is there. I feel like when I wear boots that are made for people with wide feet, I just feel a bit clunky in the boots, you understand? It's like my touch is off, my dribbling's going 2 yards too far in front of me, you understand? I just like sort of the more the boots for people with more slender feet, you understand? So in my opinion, with the boots, it doesn't really matter what boots you have, what the price is, even what the brand is. Like don't get because this happened to me when I was younger. Don't get tricked by like these advertisements. Don't think that just because you're not a winger you can't wear Mercurials. Just because you're a winger you can't wear Adidas X's. Even if you're a centre back, you can wear Mercurials. It doesn't matter. It's about whatever fits your feet, you understand? But I'm pretty sure you know that by now, that all the marketing, don't think that because you're not a centre midfielder you can't wear Adidas Predators, bro. You could be a striker wearing Adidas Preds, you could be a right back wearing Adidas Preds. In my opinion, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. As long as it fits your foot well, you'll be good, trust me. But the only thing I will say about getting the cheaper boots is that, to be fair, they do last short, they do not last as long as the elite, you understand? I feel like because I always buy the cheaper boots, the academy versions, I always find myself after 6 or 7 months I need to change the boot, because maybe there's a little rip in them, or maybe like the insole is just completely gone and things like that. But I feel like with the elites, they'll probably last you the whole season. But I feel like with the academies, I always find myself maybe like the last month of the season or the last 6 weeks of the season, I need to buy new boots, you understand? I always need to buy new boots. So that's probably the only downfall of buying cheap boots. But yeah, like I said, brand doesn't really matter. It's about comfort. Whatever you feel fits best for you, you'll be good, trust me. So yeah, that's obviously, you already knew this. Boots is the first one, but like I said, I just wanted to explain that don't care about the brand, don't care about the price. It's all about how the boots fits you and if you feel good in the boots. Because we all know that phrase: if you feel good, if you look good, feel good, play good, you understand? So obviously boots is the first one. Then obviously next up, like I said, these are the essentials. Obviously you need your shin pads. Now the thing is with shin pads, the only thing I wanted to say about shin pads is that if you're gonna get shin pads, in my opinion, you should get them small shin pads, in my opinion. So because you never want your shin pads to feel that like they're in the way. Like me personally, I have these ones, the slipping ones, where you just slip them in. Obviously the sleeve is in the bag right here. You just slip them in with the sleeve and they're calm. But I think I'm gonna get smaller ones because I still feel like these are a little bit in the way, you understand? But yeah, that's what I need to say about the shin pads. Don't get the don't get like the Sondico, the ones that have the strap around your ankle. Don't get those ones. In my opinion, just get, I know it might protect your ankle and that, but trust me, rarely you're really gonna get stamped on your ankle that badly to the point where you need ankle protection, you understand? Maybe if you have an injury of ankle, maybe if you have a history of ankle injuries in the past, then maybe I understand. But in my opinion, you're not really going to get that. You may get stepped on your toes, on your foot, but ankle is very, very rare that someone's going to come in and absolutely take you out. So in my opinion, like I said, whatever you feel comfortable in, but I would personally recommend get like as small as shin pads as you can, you understand? So you feel free, you know what I'm saying? So your legs don't feel free, so it doesn't feel like you're carrying any extra weight on your leg at all. And because obviously you don't want it to be a case where you go to take a touch and then the ball just bounces off the shin pads that there is the most annoying feeling. I've definitely had that feeling where maybe I'll go to receive the ball from a throw-in, I'll try to touch it down and it just comes off my shin pads. Maybe that's just me and my bad and me having a bad touch. Maybe that's on me. I shouldn't blame the shin pads, but yeah, literally in my opinion, just get smallest shin pads as possible. That's all I need to say about the shin pads. Self-explanatory. Next up, essentials. Once again, you need your cones and you need a good football. Now, in my opinion, you should get 2 decent football. Everyone should have 2 decent footballs. Now, ideally for footballs, you'd want to have, you see them coaches carrying the football bags. Ideally, you want a bag of 10 balls. You understand? Because let's say you're doing a shooting drill. If you have 10 footballs when you're doing a shooting drill, you can just keep going, just keep going. You don't have to, let's say you put a shot over the fence or something. You don't have to go run and get it, or you put it over the goal frame. You don't have to run and go get it. When you have like 10 footballs, obviously it's ideal, especially if you're doing like shooting drills, crossing drills, especially if you're a winger or a fullback. Trust me, having 10 footballs would be amazing. You understand? For crossing drills, you just go. You don't have to go chase your football after every single cross. That would be amazing. But again, most players don't really want to spend that money, and even if they do have the money, I've talked to a lot of players, most people say that it's just impractical carrying that heavy bag around. You know what I'm saying? Even if people have a car, they still say, I don't really want to be carrying that heavy bag. So for me, I just personally say just get 2 footballs, and the thing with your footballs, please make sure they're pumped up, because the thing is people get too used to playing with flat footballs. And the things with flat footballs is that it's easier to have a good first touch with flat footballs. It's easier to hit a shot in the top bins with a flat football. It's much easier to ping the ball, to play a long pass, to play a 20-yard crossfield ball with a flat ball. It's much easier to do those things. So people get used to playing with the flat balls, and then as soon as they get a well pumped up ball in a match, or they're training with someone else, trust me, as soon as that happens, their pings are all over the place. They can't find the target. Their touches off, bouncing off their foot. Their shots are just going wayward because they're too used to playing with flat footballs. You understand? So what I need to say with the footballs is that make sure you get two decent ones, and just make sure they're pumped up, because you're going to be playing with footballs that are pumped up in your matches. So obviously it makes sense to translate. And then with the cones, literally with the cones, I'd just say get about 15 to 20 cones. The reason I say 15 to 20 is that you can do any drill. No drill is off limit. Once you get to like 15 to 20 cones, no drill is off limit. Maybe you can get 10, and then you have a guy who has 10 as well, because maybe when you're by yourself you don't need that many cones. But I've realized, especially when it's like 2 players, when it's like maybe you're training with your friend, you need more cones. You understand? Because maybe there's a drill where you've got where you hop from section to section, where first section, dribbling drill, close control. Next section, passing. You're doing your passing. Then next section, it's a bit of dribbling again, leading into a shot. So obviously you're going to need a lot of cones for that. And like I said, once you have a good number of cones, no drills are off limit. You can do anything. Shooting, passing, dribbling. The Ronaldinho drill. I know the Ronaldinho drill, I've seen people do it with like 30 cones, you understand? But yeah, literally just little drills like that. Just make sure you've got like, I'll even say even 12 is calm, to be honest. Literally anywhere from 12 to 20 cones, you'll be good. But yeah, make sure you have both of these for your trainings. Now the last few items for the essential ones. The next one is your sliders. Now obviously, as a footballer, you know with your sliders, bro, or whether you call them sliders or you call them your slides, we all know that feeling of, after the game, your foot has been in your boot for so long, and then you just take off your boot and you put your sliders in, and it's the best feeling ever as a footballer. Now, real footballers know that. Now, also on top of that, it's better if you have spare socks. Now, obviously, you need the spare socks. After the game, like I said, putting on a fresh pair of spare socks, you need that. Not even a fresh pair after the game, you need it in the game as well. Come on, because let's be honest, every single player now is now cutting the long football socks that the team gives you. Everyone's cutting that, and they're putting on their actual socks. So just make sure that you have your socks, whether it's white socks, black socks, whatever it is. Make sure it's just, it can be anything. Like this white sock right here, it's a Puma sock. This one is the Nike Dry Fit one. So literally just make sure you got your slides, make sure you got your socks, and yeah, that's probably, those aren't the last essential. Then I would say the last essentials, I'd say, is literally your training gear. Now training gear, just in my opinion, just get something like this. It doesn't have to be a Nike one, it can be any brand, but just make sure that you have this alongside the bottoms, because like I said, in them winter months, bro, it's gonna get cold, and you need something to train in that's gonna keep you warm, but at the same time you can actually train in. You can't be training in a big puffer jacket, you understand? You can't really train in a hoodie, like it's just impractical. Like you try playing in a hoodie, the hood's just flying everywhere, you understand? And obviously you can't even put the hoodie on your head because it's sort of like blocking your vision when you're sort of checking your shoulders and all of that. It's just impractical. So just make sure you got something like this with some bottoms, and then in them winter months when you're training. And yeah, that's probably the end of the essential part. Let's get on to the non-essentials, but the nice things to have. So the non-essential section, I'll be quick. I'm just literally, when I say non-essentials, I'm talking about like things like tape. I know a lot of players like to tape up their socks. Me personally, I don't really do that, but I know some people like to tape up their socks. But me personally, I'm not buying tape and then having to share with like the entire change room, you understand? Because most of the time people don't have their own tape. There's always one guy in the change room who supplies all the tape. You know, he's got all the colors. He's got the black ones, the white ones, the red ones, the blue ones. Me personally, I'm not being that guy. I'm not being that guy. Next we got the snoods, you know what I'm saying? Snoods, once again, for the winter, is practical. I see a lot of people wearing it, but for me, with the snood, as soon as I start wearing it and I'm training, as soon as I start sweating, bro, it's like I just want to take that thing off, you know what I'm saying? I feel like with a snood, as soon as you're warm, you can just sort of dash it to the side. It's like you're ready now, the cold's not affecting you, type of thing. Then obviously, next up, you got the speaker. I've literally got this small one for myself. I feel like there's always one guy in the change room bringing a speaker. You don't have to. Obviously, you can use your speaker when you're training by yourself. You know, in the summer, it's summer, the weather's good. It's good vibes. You can just play some music while you're training. I feel like this is actually really nice to have. You know what I'm saying? I feel like with the change room, if you're gonna be that guy that brings the speaker, you have to bring the big ones. I'm personally not spending money on like the big speakers because I don't need to. But if you need to just get a speaker for yourself while you're training, you can. This is versatile, man. Even off the pitch as well. Like it can come in handy in multiple situations. Like trust me. But yeah, things like a speaker, things like underwarmers. When you know like the thermals you wear to matches. Me personally, I don't really wear thermals. I don't know why. I don't really like them. Like they're just tight, and I don't really like thermals. Even when it's cold, I'm just like, yo, I'll just get onto the pitch and I'll just end up warming up anyway. You understand? I'll just end up warming up, and I feel like when I don't wear thermals, it sort of gives me the incentive to run around. It gives me the incentive to warm up. It makes me go 100 times harder. If I know I'm cold and I need to warm up, as soon as that whistle goes, I'm ready. I'm trying to run. I'm trying to get involved in the game quickly. Trying to win a header, win a tackle, get on the ball quickly, so I can just warm up. And yeah, warm up. And the good thing about having fast starts in football is that as soon as you get your first 1 or 2 touches early on, it just calms down the nerves. And it leads to you going on to have a good game. Or in my experience, anytime I get involved in the game early, I end up going on to have a good game. It's always the bad games are always the one for me where the first 5 minutes I still haven't touched the ball. I still haven't really got into the action. Those are the games where it's like what's it called? I don't end up having a good game. So in my opinion, in order to have a good game, you need to get into the game early. Settle your nerves, get your few touches on the ball, and not wearing underwarmers, sort of being cold, sort of gives me that incentive to go warm up. Don't be passive, be aggressive. Run for the ball, close people down, type of thing. So yeah, me personally, I don't really wear thermals. And then obviously gloves is another one. Sometimes I'll be wearing gloves. I can't lie, I'll be wearing the gloves with no thermals. But yeah, it's like I said, nice to have, but it's not necessarily essential, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's it for the non-essentials. Like I said, those things, you don't need them, but they are nice to have. They do come in handy in certain situations. Lastly, we got the waste of money. Now, in my opinion, I'm talking about things like your altitude mask. You don't really need an altitude mask. Let's be honest. Like with the altitude mask, it's a thing where it's like, just go on. If you want to work on your base fitness, just go on 3Ks, just go on 5Ks. You don't need to spend loads of money on the altitude mask. I heard from reviews online that it doesn't really do much. It doesn't really do anything. So in my opinion, if you want to work on your fitness, your base fitness, and you're struggling with your base fitness, just go do your 3K runs, do your 5K runs, and then after that, so obviously that's working on your aerobic fitness. Then after that, work on your anaerobic fitness. Your anaerobic fitness is literally just the more short, intense sprints. So obviously do your shuttle runs, do your 60-meter sprints, 80-meter sprints, 100-meter sprints, and things like that. Just work on your more short distance but more intense type of fitness. You understand? So yeah, you don't really need the altitude mask. Same as like the corner nets where people put a net in the goal, but then there'll be a gap in like the top right, the top left, the bottom right, the bottom left. Don't really need this as well. This is one of them things where it's like, it's nice to have if you have the money, if you want to spend the extra money, hey, be my guest. But let's be honest, you can tell when you're shooting at an 11-a-side goal, or any goal for that matter, you can tell if it went top right, top left, bottom right, bottom left. You can tell if it went in the corners, or you can tell if it was more central. You understand? You don't really need a net to really give you guidelines. You know what I'm saying? You don't really need that. See, I would say, like I said, that's a waste of money. Now, same as the mannequins as well. Mannequins, like I said, you could, when you're taking free kicks, you can kind of tell, okay, that would have hit the wall, that would have gone over the wall, and all of that. You don't really need to spend the mannequins. And just like the bag of footballs, impractical to carry around. Who has time to be carrying mannequins around? Let's be honest. And then the last ones, in my opinion, this is a controversial one because I know people love them a lot, but it's grip socks, in my opinion. I just don't get it. I just don't get it with grip socks, man. I just don't like it. It's like, it just feels like there's just bumps underneath your feet. You understand? It's just like, with the grip socks, I just feel like, yo, just get some normal Nike Tri-Fit socks, your normal Puma socks, Adidas socks, whatever sort of sports socks you want to wear. Underneath your football socks, just wear those, to be honest. Because with the grip socks, I think they're more expensive. I'm pretty sure the last time I checked they were more expensive than, you know, like the normal ones, and I'm like, yo, you don't really need them. I see guys with like the white ones, the black ones, the red ones, but in my opinion, I don't really get the hype with grip. I don't really get the hype with grip socks. Apparently it's supposed to, you know, stop your feet moving inside the boot, but I would argue that you sort of want your feet to, you know, have a bit of room to be able to move inside the foot. Imagine if your foot is just stuck inside your boot. You have no elasticity in like your ankles and that. You can't change direction, especially when you're dribbling the football or you want to sort of curl the ball. It's sort of like, yo, you sort of want your feet to have a bit of movement, you understand? So yeah, that might be controversial, but that's the last one in my opinion. Like grip socks, I'm not feeling the grip socks. Just get you some normal socks, you know what I'm saying? Just get you some normal Nike Dri-Fits or the Puma socks. But yeah, those are the things you need to invest in as a footballer. Like I said, you got your essentials, your non-essentials, and then your complete waste of money. Obviously, those are my opinion on certain things. If you disagree, let me know. But yeah, that's been the video for today. I hope you enjoyed. I've been JT, and I'm out.